This is what it's like to be invited out to Barcelona, Spain to create content for a car company at a music festival. I didn't really know what to expect, but it turned out to be one of the best experiences I've ever had. It all started with a flight to Dulles Airport where I had a transfer to Barcelona. Now in Dulles Airport, it was pretty cool. There was birds flying around inside. Birds are cool, but they're not supposed to be in an airport. But they were fun to watch. So here we all are, getting ready to board our flight to Barcelona. Here's where things got a little bit hairy though. You'll see we boarded the flight and ended up right back at the same airport. The reason we turned around after 2 or 3 hours in flight was because the landing gear wouldn't close. But as you'll see, I eventually made it to Barcelona, and it looks so pretty. It was a long, tiring flight, but it was super exciting to finally be there. Once we all landed and got through customs, I got a taxi to the city center to go to the first hotel. When I got there, a representative from Cupra, the car company, was there to explain the itinerary of the weekend. And this is the view from my hotel. After settling in, it was time to explore the city a little bit. This is the Plaza de Catalunya. It was really good vibes. Everyone there was smiling and having a good time. And all the architecture in the area was really cool as well. One of my friends from Spain mentioned that only the pigeons are local. But regardless, it's beautiful here and it was fun watching people play with pigeons. And there were a lot of pigeons. I'm not sure why. So I started walking down the streets to explore more, and I ended up coming across a poster for the music festival I was invited to, which was Primavera Sound. I went back to the plaza and found a pedestrian area the other way and decided to walk down it. At this point, the sun was setting beautifully. There were a ton of people and it just seemed to go on and on. At this point, I did not have a map anymore and had no clue where I was going. But I didn't want to go back to the hotel and figured I'd find my way back anyway. So I picked one of those random alleys and decided to keep walking. I passed a bunch of shops and restaurants, and before I knew it, I ended up here. And I had no clue I'd be walking up to the Cathedral of Barcelona. And part of the magic was walking up to this place randomly without having any clue it was even there. I knew there was a church nearby, but I had no clue it was like this. People were dancing and singing in the streets, and it was just such a surreal moment, and the sunset made everything feel more magical. I couldn't actually go into the church because it was closed, but this is the moment where I really fell in love with Barcelona. The unexpectedness of this was one of those moments I'll never forget. At this point, I was kind of totally lost though, and just walking around and guessing which direction the hotel was in, but I saw all these amazing buildings and these really cool streets. I'm not sure when these buildings were made, but I have a feeling they were there longer than I was born. And I'm not used to seeing this type of architecture, so a Burger King at the bottom of this type of building was crazy to me. You don't really see too much of this type of architecture in the United States. I was definitely being a little bit of a tourist. Eventually, I found my way back to the hotel, got some food, and met up with my manager the next day. Alright, it's day 2 in Spain, Barcelona. We're walking around. What church are we going to? This is Jake, by the way.
C.H.A.Y.
Alright, C.H.A.Y. It's very lovely weather. It's like 72 degrees or something. And
yeah, it couldn't be more perfect.
So on the way to Sagrada, we ended up going to this bakery to get food and lattes. Everything looked so good. I didn't know what to get, so I got the same thing as Jake, and we cheers.
Cheers.
And there it is, Sagrada Familia. It's one of those buildings that are so big it almost doesn't look real. It's legitimately almost like a skyscraper. But the architecture is something else. And if you want to go inside, you have to get your reservation in advance. Now the crazy thing about Sagrada Familia is that it's been under construction for over 140 years and to be complete in 2026. After seeing a few more landmarks, it was time to go to the next hotel and film content with the car company Cupra. So then I recorded a lot of videos of their vehicles. I brought my alphabetical piano and my laptop with me to spell the word Cupra to make a song. Now I will say these cars look very sleek, and I definitely want one when they come to the United States. And here's the video I made spelling Cupra to make a song. This song literally spells Cupra. And now it'll play that melody. After filming with the vehicles, it was time to go to the music festival. And you'll see Cupra's logo around here pretty much everywhere. So it really felt like an honor for me to be out there working with them. They had 2 stages, one with Boiler Room and one of their own. It was pretty cool, and eventually one day I hope to play on one of these stages. So at this point, they basically said, enjoy the festival. And it was a lot of fun. They really took care of us too. They gave us food, drinks, and VIP access. This was pretty much our home base at the festival. This stage design was so sick too, it just came more and more to life as the night went on. So huge thanks to Cupra for bringing us out to this. So here's the main stage at Primavera. The lineup was totally stacked. But yeah, you see Cupra everywhere, even on the big LED screen at the main stage. And we got to see a bunch of cool artists playing live. It was a lot of fun. We also got to see a bunch of DJs. But my favorite performance of the entire festival was Justice, and I've never seen them play live before in person, so this was incredible. The way the stage and the music evolved throughout the performance was really cool to watch. I don't drink much, but I had one beer to celebrate seeing Justice for the first time and being here in Barcelona. And what made everything even greater was being able to meet and hang out with some new friends. This is Joe, Cav, and you know Jake. And also the guys at Super Massive. All of us really hit it off and we had a great time. We also got to see Peggy Goo, so you've probably heard this song. At this point, I was definitely exhausted and just ready to go to sleep. So after that, it was time to go back to the hotel. The next day we walked to the beach because we were just like 5 minutes away, and that's a cool beach. It was blue skies and everyone was chilling on the sand. The water was kind of cold, so no one was really swimming. There were also a bunch of sailboats out in the distance. The water was just so beautiful. The waves were calm. And over there you could see a lot of paragliders or parasailers. I'm not exactly sure. Afterwards, we stopped at the hotel and then went to the festival. The first act of the day that we saw was C.H.A.Y, and he had a huge crowd and mentioned that this was actually the biggest one he's played to as of yet. And then here's Lana Del Rey, also a huge crowd. This was a little bit later at night. I'll pan so you can see this sea of people. I got this view from VIP. It was pretty amazing, and I was grateful to be up there. I'm not like a huge Lana fan, but wow. I mean, honestly, you gotta watch it on the TV to be able to see her. Oh my god, are all those lights in the crowd phones? This next one is really cool because it's Disclosure's first live set in 8 years. You probably know this song. I definitely love seeing electronic music producers do live performances like this instead of DJ sets. Because this is not a DJ setup, it's live electronic music. And you bet I was trying to figure out what they were doing and everything they had on stage. This was definitely also one of my favorite performances of the entire festival. And then back to the Cupra Boiler Room stage. After hanging out there a bit longer, we called it a night. And the next day was the last day of Primavera Sound. I didn't get as much video of the festival today because I wanted to record more with Cupra, but later on in the day it started raining and lasted pretty much all night. The next day they had a lineup of Cupras that took us to the airport with a chauffeur. And just like that, I was on my way back to the airport. This weekend couldn't have gone any better, and I have so much gratitude to the team at Cupra and my manager for making this all happen. There was a real sense of accomplishment here, and you can see it in my face. I can't wait to go back out to Barcelona and do this all over again. It was seriously something else.